So the Amber Heard Johnny Depp situation, there's so much going on with this case, guys. I've read your comments. So many of you guys have, been telling me to update you on this, and as there's so many legal cases going on at the same time, it's driving me crazy, guys. But we've got to get into the Johnny Depp Amber Heard stuff because, of course, the final day of this cross-examination has taken place, and I want to give you guys the quick updates of what happened, and then hopefully more today from what's happening today. Hey guys, it's Murad Merali back at it again with another video. If you have not subscribed, click that button. Daily and consistent content. And let's get straight into this video, guys. Subscribe, click that button. So, on the fourth and final day of the cross-examination of Johnny Depp and his defamation case against Amber, jurors were presented with audio recordings, guys. This one was pretty serious because what Johnny was saying to Amber was, the next move, if I don't walk away, it's going to be a wasn't the island, he said on the recording. The 58-year-old actor could also be seen shouting in the recording, saying, "Shut up, you fat A-word," after Heard told him to put your cigarette out on someone else. "You effing have consequences for your actions." But Johnny Depp's lawyers later played a tape in which Heard said to her husband, "I want couch, by the way. You just threw an effing cigarette on me." Asked what the exchange meant, Depp explained, "It's pretty clear she's ordering me on the couch. I want couch." He acknowledged he may have flicked cigarette ash at her. She's not screaming in pain as if I put a cigarette on her, adding any suggestion, and that if it was ridiculous. Ben King, a British house manager butler employed by Disney to manage the couple's rented house, described overhearing arguments in which Heard said, "Why do you take your hand away from me, Johnny? Don't you love me anymore?" I think he replied, "Of course I do, don't be silly." King continued and described hearing Amber's tone as like a spoiled teenage child. After a marital argument escalated, King testified that he found Johnny Depp's severed fingertip directly below the bar. But in other exchanges in the Alexandria, Virginia courtroom on Monday, Johnny Depp wrote to his former wife's mother, describing himself as a poor old junkie. "What you need to know is that your daughter has risen far above the nightmarish task of taking care of this poor old junkie. Never a second has gone by that she didn't look out for me, to have her eyes on me to make sure that I was okay. She has the strength of 1,000 men," Depp added in this note. The exchange came close to the end of Amber's attorney's opportunity with Depp on the witness stand to paint the actor as a violent DV whose behavior was integral to dependencies on substances. The actor has described the accusations of substance as grossly embellished and argued that it was Amber Heard who actually escalated their fights. In one other recording, Depp and Heard could be heard negotiating timeouts to their disputes, with Heard saying she could not trust her husband to resume their discussion. "How can I trust you that it'll be a few minutes when you've done this in the past and disappeared for hours?" Amber said. "In arguments, you tend to throw punches," Johnny Depp said back. "I'm talking arguments, not the times when it's physical," Amber responds. "You take off right away. You don't deal with the issue. You don't deal with the confrontation, and you split. You do it for an indeterminate amount of time. You do it without actually respecting me." Under questioning from his own lawyers, Johnny Depp was asked how he felt about the article Heard wrote for the Washington Post, describing herself as a public figure representing DV, 2 years after she'd been granted a restraining order. At that point, it had been a good 2 solid years since the allegations had been planted firmly on my back, Depp testified. "I could not believe it. It was clear the more hit pieces came out on me, it was clear that Miss Heard's righteous chase against me was continuing. Something had to be done. I couldn't take it anymore," he said. Johnny Depp said he felt he had the opportunity to address the allegations against him, and then Disney had dropped him from the Pirates of the Caribbean, and that it absolutely hurt him, and it just massively turned down his career. So these recordings that have been released are pretty crazy, guys. Pretty crazy. Johnny Depp has also explained that his text to his actor friend Paul Bettany, in which he said, "Let's drown her before we burn her. I will F her burnt corpse afterwards to make sure she's dead," were never intended to be real. What? The text about burning Heard, he said, was directly from Monty Python, and the sketch about burning witches and then drowning the witches, this is the film we'd all watch when we were 10. It's just irreverent and abstract humor. The actor told the jury that when he used the term monster, it was his term to describe himself when he'd relapsed. In his argument with Heard, he said that when the tenor of the exchanges was reduced to screaming obscenities, the monster was just for me, was just a guy who was dumb enough to take part in the arguments. This is crazy. Recordings about bloodbaths. We have text messages, guys, about witches and burning corpses and stuff like this. Listen, I know the Kardashian China trial is going on at the same time, but this is where it's at, guys. I'm telling you now, this is on 10 when it comes to absolute madness of recordings and text messages, and we still have 2 to 3 weeks of this case. Many people are reporting on this. I'm trying to report more consistently on this. Hopefully you guys would want to see that. Just comment down below if you guys want to. But of course, the case does continue, and that is basically what happened yesterday with some shocking recordings were played out in court. I think both of these people have done crazy stuff stuff to each other. That's just the way I see it. I think Amber more than Johnny, but of course, you know, things are also happening today, and I will get into that later on tonight. But those are just some of the updates from the Johnny and Amber madness that is taking place in court right now. This is probably the third week or the second week this has been going on for, and it still has many weeks to go because Amber Heard also has to testify. Let me know your thoughts are, guys, and subscribe to the channel. Click that button, guys. It is daily and consistent content, consistency and persistency, baby. Subscribe, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.